I'm Karen Sinesiu at the Center for Surrogate Parenting, and this is our seminar session, Agency Managed Surrogacy. So there's 4 ways of doing surrogacy: family and friends, online surrogacy, agency with partially screened surrogate moms, and agency with fully screened surrogate moms. So for the first one, family and friends. With family and friends, you're lucky you've got someone in your family, a friend of yours that's willing to be your surrogate mom. My advice for you is the first thing you do is go and meet with a mental health professional who can help you in this journey, evaluate everyone, and then guide you from that point forward. Surrogacy online, second way of doing surrogacy. This is similar to those dating sites. It's a very much do-it-yourself. Surrogate mom posts about herself. Intended parents post about themselves. You start emailing each other. You get to meet each other. The problem is it's like a dating site. So you know already, and you've probably had friends that have been on those dating sites. You fill out the profile, and you get 300 people that are appropriate for you and they think are matched. Are you really going to go to dinner with all 300 of them to find that one gem? It's a lot of work to find that one surrogate mom and a tremendous amount of costs that are involved. So just to send your surrogate mom to a psychologist, as an example, for an evaluation is going to cost you anywhere from $600 to $1,500. That's for the first candidate. Now you're going to repeat that over and over and over again. A huge amount of your time is going to be invested in this, and that is the online. Now we get to agencies. These are where professionals are ready to help you, where agencies are ready to help you. There are 2 different kinds of agencies, however, and the difference between us, for most part, is the pre-screening of the surrogate mom. So the pre-screening is the medical screening, the psychological screening, making sure she has medical insurance, the criminal background, all that work that needs to go in to find out that this is a very, very good candidate for surrogacy and a safe place for your baby to develop in. Why is this even relevant? Why is screening even relevant? Well, the answer is costs. So when you have a match, you and the surrogate mom are matched, everything that occurs above that match is pre-screening. Everything that occurs below that match is matching costs. So when you and the surrogate mom come together, everything from then onwards is incurred by you. You're paying all those costs. Everything that occurs before that match is an agency cost because you haven't even met that lady. So when an agency sends a surrogate mom out for psychological screening before you meet her and she doesn't pass the psychological screening, that cost is incurred by the agency. If you are matched with a surrogate mom and then she goes to psychological screening, that is your cost. So the agency pays for one kind of cost, otherwise it's your cost. And if you're going candidate after candidate, this could really add up to quite a bit. So the aim is to get as much costs paid for by the agency before you get to meet her. And then everything below is going to be your cost, but you want as much above as you possibly can to save you as much money as possible. Question is, how do you know which agency does what? Because everyone says, I pre-screen our surrogate moms. So here's a few tips. First thing, go to the website, go in as an intended parent, and see what they say about the process. So if you see something like this, once you know you have a fantastic match, we will send you off to meet a qualified mental health practitioner to discuss everyone's needs and expectations and how best to create a successful journey. Then you will meet with the intended parent's medical team for medical examination and blood tests. So what they're saying is, once you have a fantastic match, we will now send you off to a mental health professional and to the doctor for all the social disease testing and the medical screening. It's occurring after that match. All of those are your costs. In this particular case, they're saying, once you are matched, we'll send you to a mental health professional to discuss your expectations. What if she wanted a singleton and you wanted twins? What if the surrogate mom wanted a really close relationship and you said no? What if you want to terminate a high-risk pregnancy and she says, I don't want to terminate a pregnancy? You've just paid $1,000 for that psychologist. You should never have been matched with each other from the very beginning. Now, that's the one side, so that's the intended parent side. Another trick is after that, go to the surrogate mom side of the website, because what I found when I was doing my research is that the surrogate mom side and the intended parent side often give different information. So they tell the intended parents, we pre-screen our surrogate moms, and then when I went to the surrogate mom side, it says, when you apply to us, we'll match you in 5 days. How did you do any screening if it's 5 days later she's being matched? So now go to the surrogate mom site. When you go to the surrogate mom site, you may see something like this. They will be able to review surrogate mom profiles on our website. If they are interested in meeting you, then, so you've been matched, then they will do an agency agreement, legal contracts, review your health insurance, medical evaluation, and psychological. So what they're saying on this side is, we're going to post your profile, a couple's going to choose you, and then absolutely everything's going to occur. So all those costs are now yours. The agency's done nothing and incurred no costs. So what does it mean when there's a fully screened surrogate mom? CSP is a model of this. Look at the list. These are the things that we do. We have a written application. We're going to do a phone interview with your surrogate mom. We're going to collect her OB records. We're going to do a criminal background check on her and her partner or husband nationwide. We are going to get a driver's license check on her. We are going to do psychological interview with her and her partner in person, and we're going to do mental health professional testing, MMPI, and sometimes other testing on her. We are going to do social disease testing on your surrogate mom and her partner. We are going to make sure we have a current PAP on her. We're going to make sure we have a physical on her. We're going to do a financial 101 with your surrogate mom to make sure she understands the costs, expenses, reimbursements of our program so that you and her are not getting into a dispute over money. We will take what she has said, put it in writing, and we'll present you with an estimated cost sheet. And we're going to make sure your surrogate mom has insurance, and insurance has been verified by an independent attorney that there's no exclusion against surrogacy. So check, 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 check. All these things are being done by CSP. Let's ask the question again. Now what happens? When all these things have been done by CSP, she goes to your doctor and your doctor rejects the surrogate mom because perhaps there was some scarring in her uterus from a previous pregnancy that none of us knew about and her OB did not see. What happens to all of these costs? Well, with CSP, there we go. Check, check, check. All these things are reimbursed to you by CSP because you were never really matched with the surrogate mom. If you found your own surrogate mom and went through all of these things that you needed to do, all of these check marks that you needed to do, you would be paying for all these costs. So what I recommend that you do is you take this slide with you, make a copy of it. It's an item list. Take it with you when you're looking at other agencies and start doing a check next to each one of these things and ask the agency, will you do all these things in your pre-screening, and which of these items am I paying versus you if she fails at any one of these levels? And I think that's going to give you an accurate idea of what pre-screening really means. All right, now that we understand what pre-screening is all about, let's go on to the better part of the program, which is the matching process. So with CSP, our matching process is very much looked after by the mental health professionals. So what starts out is the mental health professional interviews your surrogate mom, gets to know her and her husband, and takes them through the process with us. That's going to take us 3 to 6 months to really get to know her, get to know her husband, get to know her partner in life, to make sure that she's really a good person to be carrying your pregnancy and a person that we feel your baby will be safe with. Mental health professional will also be interviewing you, intended parents, or intended parent, to find out about you. What we're trying to find out is, what is your views on the amount of contact you want with your surrogate mom before, during, and after the pregnancy? What will you be comfortable with? What are your opinions about how many embryos you want to implant? What are your opinions about termination of a pregnancy? If there's something really wrong with this pregnancy, what do you want to do? All that information that mental health professionals will gather and look at surrogate moms and their interviews with those surrogate moms and see which ones of you, who's going to be compatible. Then the mental health professional will take your profile and send it to surrogate moms that they think are really good matches. Surrogate mom's going to sit down and she's looking at 2 or 3 couples and say, oh my goodness, I really feel good with this couple. I really want to be able to help them. We take her profile and it gets sent to you. And this is happening several times behind the scenes. So you will now be presented with 1, 2, or 3 surrogate moms. All of them have accepted you. Every one of them wants to help you. And you get to sit down and look at those profiles and say, which one touches me? Which one do I feel comfortable permitting to have my baby and to carry my baby for me? Once you've all agreed to work with each other, we're going to have an official match meeting. Normally Skype first, just so you get to know each other, and then in person with the mental health professional present, and we'll have an official match meeting. When everyone says, this is a great match, this is what I'm looking for, I feel very comfortable, we have the match, and now we're going to send you off to the attorneys to do the legal. And so your journey will begin. So, this is the first time I've done this, but I actually started compiling some statistics. I'm very excited by them, actually, and a little bit surprised, happily surprised. So here, let me share some statistics with you. 2,300 births in our program. We're just under it, but we're getting close. In 36 years. Never had a surrogate mom change her mind about relinquishing a child. We accept on average 10 to 15 surrogate moms a month, and we get between 350 and 400 applicants or phone calls a month from surrogate moms that are looking to be surrogate moms. So what this is showing you is how much work goes into trying to find those gems of surrogate moms that will really look after you, make sure your baby is safe. We have to go through 350 to 400 applicants to find those 10 or 15. And if you're doing this by yourself, that is the work that you need to do. And you don't even have our skills to be able to evaluate these ladies that we've accumulated over 36 years. So looking at our last 115 pregnancies, 77% of our pregnancies were resulted from frozen embryos, which is a drastic difference from years ago where almost everything was fresh. But now those frozen embryos are very successful. Doctors are doing amazing with these new stats. In our last 115 pregnancies, 78% of our pregnancies were singletons. We're working really hard to try and reduce the twin pregnancies because of the nature of it being high risk. We want every couple to have the safest journey we possibly can. Out of our last 168 embryos that resulted in a pregnancy, 32% of our pregnancies were because of one embryo being implanted, and 33% were because 2 embryos were implanted. So what we're seeing is that we don't need to implant as many embryos as we used to have to get those really great pregnancies. Where we did implant 2 embryos, 60% were singletons, and 40% of 2 embryos being implanted resulted in a twin pregnancy. So what it means is that even though you implant 2 embryos, you really have a 40% chance of getting twins, but most likely there's going to be a singleton pregnancy. Location of our intended parents, 51% of our couples are international. And then what I did is I took the statistics between January and December 2015, looked at all the couples that actually retained us in that time period and said what happened to them in a 1-year time period. And I found out that 40% are pregnant, 23% are matched, but they're actually not pregnant yet. 18% have already delivered, which is amazing. So within a 1-year time period, we matched a couple, they went to the doctor, they got pregnant, and they've delivered within a 1-year time period. So these statistics are actually quite amazing, and I'm very, very proud of them. And what it's showing us is that 98% of couples, or intended parents or intended parent, that have come to our program, 98% were matched with a surrogate mom within a 1-year time period of our program, and I'm very happy about that. As of today, our waiting period to be matched with a surrogate mom ranges anywhere from 1 month to 4 months for a fully screened surrogate mom, depending on where in the country you're going to work with a surrogate mom. Our surrogate moms come from most of the states. There are a few states where we don't do surrogacy, but our surrogate moms are located nationwide otherwise. So, if you are considering doing surrogacy, make sure that you do it right, because in the field of surrogacy, there's no undos. Thank you.